Good day everyone, our topic for today is all about construct the probability mass function of a discrete random variable and computes probabilities corresponding to a given random variable. But before that, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and hit the bell button for more updates. Also, you can find different subjects in this YouTube channel. Just select the playlist section. And finally, please don't skip the ads for this video. Thanks! And now, let's proceed to our main topic for today. Let's have this example. A small remedial class contains 8 boys and 5 girls. If 3 students were selected at random one after the other, determine the values of random variable B corresponding the number of boys. So dito sa problem na to, ang hinahanap natin is yung mga possible outcomes na ang mabubunot natin doon sa tatlong estudyante ay mga lalaki or boys, B. So let B be boys or the representation for boys and G for the representation of girls. So we have a total of 5 girls and 8 boys. So what are now the possible outcomes for the boys and girls? So the total outcomes that we will be having, since we only have 2 variables. We have boys, we have girls, so we will write 2. And then, we need to pick 3 students. So that's raised to n. That's the formula. So we have 2, and we have to pick 3 students. So the total possible outcomes are 8, right? Because 2 cubed or 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 8. So we're expecting 8 possible outcomes. But the question there is, what are the possible values for this random variable? So let's say that dun sa una nating bubunutin, no, kung nandyan sa isang box yung pangalan or yung gender ng ating mga remedial class students, may 8 boys at 5 girls. So, pipili tayo ng 3. Bubunot tayo ng 3. So, may probability na 3 boys ang makukuha ko. May probability din na 2 boys ang makukuha ko at 1 girl. May probability na 1 boy at 2 girls ang makukuha ko. At meron din probability na wala akong makukuha boy sapagkat yung 3 makukuha kong estudyante ay puro babae. Okay, because we have a total of 5 girls, so possible na makabundot ako ng 3 babae. So now, ang una natin gagawin is we will construct first the table. So if we will consider the outcomes, may possibility na makakabunot ako ng 3 boys sa aking sa random sampling na gagawin ko. Or possible na 2 boys muna, then girls. Or pwedeng boys muna, girl, tapos boy. And then, pwedeng girl muna, pero dun sa 2 binunot ko sa bandang huli, ay parehong lalaki. Or pwedeng lalaki ang una kong mabunot, then I'll be going to, mabunot ko yung 2 babae sa bandang huli. Or pwedeng babae muna, tapos lalaki, then babae. Or maaaring mabunot ko is 2 babae, and then pinaka-last is boy. Or possible na 3 babae mabunot ko at wala akong mabunot na boy. So ngayon, isusulat natin yung number of boys since we are talking about the value of B. Okay? So dito, 3 meron tayo. Dito, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 0. So we have 3, then we have 2, and we have 1, and we have 0. So, to summary, we have the possible values of the random variable B, which are 0, 1, 2, at saka 3. Tama? So we can make a frequency distribution of the values of the random variable and determine the probability that each value of the random variable will occur. The resulting distribution is called a probability distribution of the discrete random variable. Compute probabilities of a given random variable. So given the question, number 1, what is the number of occurrence of each of the random variable? So ito yung possible values natin, di ba, na nakuha kanina. Meron tayong 3, 2, 1, 0. Ngayon, yung number of occurrence or frequency. Ilang 3 na parehong mga lalaki ang mabubunot natin. So, isa lang, di ba? Isa lang, based dun sa table natin kanina. Yung dalawa, tatlo yon, di ba? Tatlo yung tigda dalawa. Dito naman, tatlo din. Okay? And then dito, dun sa wala kang mabubunot na lalaki, so isa, kasi lahat sila girls. Tama? Balikan natin. Ito yon. Meron tayong isa, tatlo, tsaka isang 0. So, ito yung kanyang occurrence. Now, gawa tayo ng probability. So, what is now the probability of the occurrence of each value of the random variable? So, madali lang to. Since meron tayong possible values of 3, 2, 1, and 0, ano yung probability na 3 or tatlong boys yung makukuha ko dun sa group of students na yon? So, we have 1, right? Dito, 1. So, isa. Pero since we're talking about probability, it should be a fraction or a ratio or maybe a decimal point. Okay? So, over, maglalagay tayo ng over and then yung total. So, that's 8. So, the probability na makukuha ko is lahat tatlong boys is 1 over 8. Dito naman, 3, na probability na dalawang boy ang makukuha ko at isang babae. So, 3 over 8. Dito naman, 3 over 8 din. Kasi tatlo sila. Okay? And finally, we have 1 over 8 na wala akong makukuha boys dahil lahat ng makukuha ko ay girls. Okay? Ang tinutukoy natin sa problem na to ay boys, ha? Okay, boys. Hindi sinabi ng problem na girls. Okay? Kaya kung napapansin nyo, kanina ko pa sinasabi yung word na boy. Now, so these are our probability. To check kung tama yan, dapat equal sila sa 1. Okay? So, let's have 1 plus 3 plus 3, that's 7 plus 1, that's 8. Then 8 divided by 8 is 1. Tama? So, ibig sabihin tama yung probability natin. Okay. Now, let's proceed. So, ito na yung mga nakuha natin. So, for the boys, you have 3, 2, 1, 0 possible values. And for the probability that you will get 3 boys is 1 over 8, 2 boys is 3 over 8, 1 boy is 3 over 8, and no boys, puro girls, lahat ang makukuha mo is 1 over 8. Now, let's compute for the probability. Okay, number 1. Ano yung probability na ang makukuha mong boy ay greater than 1? Mas mataas sa 1. Okay, mas mataas sa 1. Ano ba yung mas mataas sa 1? So, these are 2 and 3. Tama? Mas mataas sa 1. So, we have 2 and 3. Ano yung probability ng 2 and 3? We have 3 over 8 at saka 1 over 8. Tama? So, ngayon, i-add natin yung dalawa. I'm sorry, this is 8. That's 1 over 8, right? So, i-add natin yung dalawa. 3 plus 1 is 4 over 8. Or simply, it's equal to 1 half. So, ibig sabihin, the probability na makukuha natin na boy na greater than 1, okay, 1 outcomes is equal to, this should be 1 half, is equal to 1 half. Okay? So, that's the probability, or 0.5. Now, for number 2, the probability that B is equal to 4. Is it possible? The answer is 0, right? Why? Because there is no 4 outcomes here. We only have 3 outcome, the highest outcome. Okay? So, we don't have 4, or B that is equal to 4. Okay? So, the answer is 0. To understand it better, I prepared more examples. Okay, let's do the following. The number of patients seen in the ER or emergency room in any given hour is a random variable represented by X. So we have 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So the probability distribution for X is 0.4, 0.2, 0.2, 0.1, 0.1. Now, the questions are, find the probability that in a given hour, we will get exactly 14. Is there a 14 here? Exactly 14, yes. So what's the probability of that 14? And that's equal to 0.1. So that's the answer. Okay? How about at least 12 patients? Pag sinabing at least, siya yung pinakamababa. Okay? 12 is the lowest. And there are highest. And there are also higher than 12. Higher number. Okay? So, siya yung pinakamaliit, pinakamababa, at meron pang mas tataas sa kanya. Okay? So, parang ano siya, yung at least parang greater than or equal. Parang ganun yung kanyang symbol. Okay? So, ano ngayon yung probability na makukuha niya is 12 and higher. So, at least 12, sabi niya. Okay? So, we have 0.2, 0.1, 0.1. So, the answer is 0.4. So, we will just add. Now, finally, at most 11 patients. Pag sinabing at most, ano naman yon? Pag sinabing at most, siya yung pinakamataas at meron pang mas mababa sa kanya. So, pinakamataas daw yung 11 at meron pang mas mababa kay 11. At ano yon? 10. So, ngayon, parang ang symbol naman nito is less than or equal. So, we have 0.4 and 0.2. The answer is 0.6. You got it? Okay, another example. Number of die. So, in a number of die, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because we have only 6 faces for a die. No? Yung die or dice na sinasabi ninyo kapag naglalaro kayo ng snake and ladder. Yan. So, meron tayong probability ng die, which is 1 over 6, 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 and 1 over 6, which is equal to 1, right? 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 6 divided 6. The answer is 1. Now, find the probability that we have exactly 5. What's the answer? Exactly 5. And the answer is 1 over 6. How about at least 4? So we're talking about at least. So that is greater than or equal. At least 4. So we have the 4 as the lowest and there are more numbers that are higher than 4. So it's obvious that this is 3. 3 over 6 or 1 half. Right? Okay. How about the last one? At most 2. At most 2. So there are other, mean to say, it's less than or equal. So number that are, equal to 2 but at the same time lower than 2. And this is 1. So we have 1, 6, 1, 6. That's 2 over 6 or 1/3 as our final answer. Okay? And finally, we have this last example for the computing the probability distribution of a random variable x. So we have the following distribution: -8, -3, -1, 0, 1, 4, and 6. And we have the probability for -8, we have 0.13, -3, 0.15, 0.17, 0.20, 0.15, 0.11, and 0.09. So we're looking for exactly 0. Okay, exactly 0. This is exactly 0. And the answer is 0.20. At most 0. When you say at most, again, 0 is the highest. What are the lowest number than 0? And these are -1, -3, and -8. So we will just add all of this to determine the probability. So the answer is 0.65. If you want to check, you just can add 0.13, 0.15, 0.17, and 0.20. And finally, we have at least -3, mean to say at least it is the lowest, and at most 1. So -3 as the lowest, mean to say may tataas pa, there are numbers that are greater than 3, -3, and at most 1. So, this one, okay? So, Since it's negative 3 at least and at most 1, 1 mean to say mas mayroon pa mababa sa kanya. So, may pagitan. So, ito yung pagitan lang nila. Right? Ayan. So, therefore, we will just add them. So, 0.15 plus 0.17 plus 0.20 plus 0.15. The answer is 0.67. Okay? When we're talking about this is equivalent to x less than, greater than, or equal to negative 3, but less than or equal to positive 1. Okay? So, you can check, you can just add all of this to check if it is 0.67. Alright, so that's